Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I hope you're having a great day, and by great, of course, I mean profitable. Happy Friday, everybody. My name is Brian, and welcome to another amazing video on auto bond investing. Hey, I hope you enjoy it. I hope you're entertained a little bit. I hope you learned something along the way, and if you do, and wouldn't mind, please subscribe. You'd be doing me a huge favor, and hit that little notification button next to the subscribe button. And so what are we going to talk about today? Well, it's Friday. I'm looking at the trades from the week. Some have been good, some have been bad. But I want to take a sort of a step back and talk about how discipline matters more than ever in this market. If you are disciplined, you can absolutely be successful. And I'm going to talk about my 3 rules of discipline and how I identify when the right time to buy a stock is or an option, and how I decide when to sell. And it's all about, for me, discipline. I'm happy to not make as much money on the way up, to preserve capital along the way, because hey, if I lose everything, I'm out of the game. So number 1 rule is how to keep and maintain capital preservation, and how I do that and grow my portfolio is what we're going to talk about today. So let's just jump right in. Okay, let's just start right here. The first couple rules here are pretty easy, and I don't need to show anything. The third one's a little bit more complicated, and then we'll roll it all together. My first rule is, no matter how much money I have, I will only invest 10% in a single name. So if I have $1,000, I will only invest $100 into a particular security, be it a stock or an option. Robinhood and other online like app trader tools make that extremely easy, because I can invest $100 in a big high cost stock like Google at a fractional share. And so I don't need to have $2,500, $3,000 to start. But no matter what, no matter how much conviction I have, and I believe I am absolutely right, and because quite honestly, every time I invest $1, I believe I'm absolutely right. And it turns out I'm not all the time. So to preserve capital, I will never, ever, ever invest more than 10% of my portfolio into a single name. Second rule, when I buy a stock or an option, I buy it, and I'll talk about when I buy here in a few minutes. Right now, I want to talk about when I sell it. And when I sell it, I make that decision the moment I buy. So I look at what my target price on that security is going to be to sell, and I back that up and say, can I double my money? Can I double my money before it gets to my target price? So maybe I'm wrong and it never hits my target price, but I still end up being able to double my money. Once I buy something and it doubles, I sell half. End of story. No matter what, I can have a target price of $100 on a stock, and I buy it at $10, and I am so absolutely sure that it is going to go to $100. I buy it at 10, I sell half at 20, and I play with house money at that point. It is absolutely imperative. So my target price on anything I buy has to be at least north of a double. So if it's not, I will play it in in the options market, and look for option calls that will get me to that double, and I will sell half at that double and ride the rest. Once it hits my target price, no matter what, I sell all. I sell the rest. This killed me 2 weeks ago on Tilray, where I made 600% in 3 days on my investment, my options investment in Tilray. And had I sold it at the top when it was 65, because I sold it at 36 or 37, the options when the stock was at 36 or 37, I would have absolutely crushed it. But again, discipline is key. So I make those decisions at the point when I buy. Okay? Next, when do I buy? This is extremely important. If you want to make money in the market, you have to buy at the right time. That means no FOMO. That means no big candles that you're buying into. That means you're more than happy to watch the rest of the world crush it on GameStop, and you sit back and live to fight another day. So I make the determination of what I buy, or I'm sorry, when I buy, based on this MACD indicator. The MACD indicator indicates the divergence in moving averages, and it uses the 12-period EMA and the 26-period EMA. When the red line in this example is above the blue line, it is absolutely time to stay away. When I buy is as close to as possible. When both lines are below the center line and the blue line crosses over the red line. And so in this particular example, this is on the NASDAQ 100 ETF, right? This right here was the indication to buy in, and this over here, when it crossed above, it was above the line, the blue line fell below the red, is when it was time to get out, no matter what. If you use this, it is, and do it like religiously, it is impossible to chase. This is your Bible. This is your indication, not what's going on CNBC, not what the day traders are running GameStop up to the moon. Who gives a crap? Who cares? I don't. Because again, if I buy FOMO, I have a high risk of losing all of my capital just like that, and I'm totally out of the game. Far better to miss a big move and be able to live to fight another day than to lose everything and be out of the game. So let's look at some real world examples. Earlier in the week, and I've been touting this a little bit, I bought into QuantumScape. QuantumScape, if you look, this is the MACD. The line was both were below the center line, and that crossover occurred here about let's call it the first week of February is where I started watching this. Okay, this has come down. This name has come down a lot. It's lost almost 66% of its value from about the 130 to a low of 40. That crossover right here last Friday, was the indication that it's time to buy in. I bought in on the options market March 19th because I wanted to give myself time. March 19th at $6.80, $60 strike price on these calls on that day. And the belief system was my target price was set at this gap being closed from the end of 2020, where it gapped down from 90 to about call it the $60 mark. And I am under the belief system that this gap here needs to be filled. First step is to reclaim the 50-day moving average, which it did on Wednesday, and is now we had a bounce off of it yesterday that was quite strong, though it closed fairly weak, brought back down to the 50-day. And again today, we've bumped down to the 50-day moving average, and it's bouncing around this. I talked about this earlier in the week. I suspect that will continue for a couple days before that gap gets closed. But it doesn't matter anymore for me because I bought these options at $6.80. I sold half of them at $13.50 yesterday when it was about going up close to $70. And now it doesn't matter. I can lose. This thing can go south. The whole market could crash. It doesn't matter for me now. I want it to go up. I'd love it to go up. But if it doesn't go up, I am guaranteed to not lose a penny now because I've taken half my chips off the table. Let's talk about Tilray. Tilray, at the beginning of 2021, saw the crossover occur. Okay? And here it is above the 50-day moving average. And as you can see, it ballooned up 2 weeks ago. I bought somewhere around here, I believe, and sold it up in, no, I bought here and I sold it right here. If I would have held it for another 48 hours, I would have crushed it. I didn't, whatever. But I sold half my position. and on a double, and let the rest ride to 600%, and I took it all off at that point. Now here we have a negative convergence on the MACD. You see that where the line crosses under. It's both above the center line. This absolutely looks like it wants to head back down to the 50-day moving average, and there is just plain out too much risk for me to buy into this name right now. That being said, I love this name. I think this stock is going to have a huge 2021, but patience is key. Capital preservation is key, and I will not buy this security again until it goes under that line and we see a positive divergence in the MACD. Space, Virgin Galactic. You guys know I have so much conviction on this security. It's not, I believe that this could be another Tesla-like stock. But again, looking at the MACD, I will not add to my position right now. Could it go up here? Absolutely. Absolutely. But it's too much risk for me to go. And look, it's had a nice bump up from 47 to 52 or so this morning. It looks like it's moving up north. Who knows? But I do not like where this MACD is playing right now, and I will have too much risk to buy into that. Blackberry. Blackberry is another one that we've talked about before, and I really look. I hate the fact that it ran up so hard so fast because with the Wall Street Bets folks getting a hold of it, right? Because I think this is a strong security that's doing a lot of things right now. But that pop in January flushed a lot of people out, and it's just going to take time to recover. And you can see that MACD coming down, and it's getting close. It's bumping up close to that 50-day moving average. I'm just going to wait maybe a week or two and watch this closely to see if those MACD lines cross down below the center line, and we'll look to buy in once those things diverge. I talked about in a video earlier in the week. Let's talk about, I guess, some things right now that I think are moving. I talked earlier in the week about the ARK Invest fund. I went through all last weekend, 55 stocks in that fund, and identified what I thought was names that have not gotten out of hand yet, but are on prime to move. This is two of them we'll talk about right now. So this is Ceres Therapeutics. It had a nice bounce yesterday off of support, and we've got move up again today to the 50-day moving average. We'll want to see confirmation of that, but it is below the MACD is below the center line, and it does look to be today trying to make a crossover. So this is one that I would look to invest in, probably in the options market. I would look to see if I were to play this. My target would be 38. I'd want to double my money when it got to 29. So I'd look for a short-term option, something that could get between 29 and 30 to double, so I could take half off the table and let the rest ride to 38. Next, KE Holdings, another one from the ARK Invest that I reviewed. Here we've had a nice positive crossover below the line. This was on about last week, sometime early last week that went through, and now it's got confirmation of that. So I would be again watching this one closely. This is one that I think you can get into in the short term without chasing. So anyway, those are two examples. I still love Tilray. I still love Virgin Galactic. All I'm saying is now's the time to hold, not to buy. QuantumScape, I think, is close enough to that line that if we just saw the move over the center point, that's close enough to still be able to get in. Though the back here last week was certainly better when the crossover occurred. So anyway, that's how I make the decision of buying. That's how I make the decision of selling. That's how much of my portfolio I put towards a single security, all of which is to de-risk my positions and my process here. So I hope that helps explain some things. I hope you have a very good Friday, what's left of it, and a profitable one at that. Remember, I am not a financial advisor. I'm just a dude with a computer that loves talking about this stuff, and it's a hobby more than anything. But I love making money, but it's a hobby more than anything, and I like sharing it and hopefully teaching you something along the way. And so please don't buy or sell anything just on account of something I said. That would be pretty dumb. Do your own research. But anyway, I hope you enjoy this video. And if you do and would feel so inclined to subscribe, I'd greatly appreciate it. Hit that little notification button next to the subscribe button. Follow me on Twitter at AutobahnInvest1. I try to post over there as much as I can. And look, I hope you have a great day. I will not be posting tomorrow, or I'm going to try to do something Sunday, but worst case scenario, it'll be Monday afternoon before I can again, or Monday evening. But I'll try to do something on Sunday as well. Anyway, have a great weekend, guys. Thanks a lot for listening. Talk to you soon. Cheers.